everybody, it's Marianne, and today I'm going to show a paper milk carton that you can use for little spring treats for everybody, like a Happy Meal kind of thing. Well, or a paid forward type thing. Using an 8 and before I give you the measurements, I just wanted to say that this is inspired by Poodle's Paper Craft. Hers is a mini milk carton, and it was the right size for the kind of treats I was giving away to some of the secretaries I have to see in my observations. So that said, it is an 8 1/4 by a 5 1/2 piece of cardstock, which actually is good because then I can get 2 out of them. On the long side, you are going to score at 1 7/8, 2 3/4, and 5 5/8, and 7 1/2. On the short side, it's 1 7/8, 3 3/4, and 5 inches. Also, on the first and third, you are going to find the center and give it a little notch you just don't want to go past the first. You just want a little notch. You don't have to go all the way down as I did. And you do not have to turn it around and do the opposite side. I don't know what I was thinking. But in terms of what, it looks like I got distracted somehow and then just went and did it again. It's not necessary. You just need to do one side. You know how a milk carton folds up. You can find all the measurements on my blog, and I will also give you some information down below in the Show More section if you need it, which I do hope you try to do this. It's really kind of fun. Everybody loves it that I've given it to so far. I put a little treats in it. So that's it. Now watch, you'll see that it really doesn't matter that I put a score mark on the both sides. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So using a ruler or straight edge, I find the center, and I'm using a tool to give me a score mark. There we go. On the first and the third part, sorry, I'm out of focus or out of shot. You go from the center to the first intersection so that you sort of have like a triangle on your paper. Oh, thank goodness I went back to look on it. There we go. See, center to the corner, and you're going to pre-press them. And I say pre-press them. You want to sort of get them started a little bit so that they will fold up nicely for you. It's better to do that when they are flat like this rather than when you already see. Look, and I'm going to sort of fold, get everything scored and folded. We want to get them ready, make it nice so that it will go together nicely. All right, hopefully. There we go. Just checking to make sure it's square. And I push it in and just kind of fold on the score line. You just need to get it started. Just needs to be worked a little bit. And then it goes very easily. The smaller ones do tend to go without even scoring them. So on the bottom, you're going to cut a part on the score line. And you're going to trim it so that it folds in. Leave 1 or 2 without any trimming on it, because that'll be the top part. There we go. It's pretty self-explanatory if you're doing it while you're watching the video. And this is sped up 2 times, and you can cut this piece away. Okay? Now, goofy me, I see a score line and I cut it. And I trim it. What can I tell you? You don't need to do that. Just letting you know. I get into my zone. All right, I'm using Tombow glue because it's pretty dang strong and it dries pretty quick. So bringing everything together, and I'm using a towel to take away anything that squishes out. And there it is. And see how well, all right, so that's the bottom. We're going to get the bottom done. Keep it square when you do the bottom. I didn't keep it square, obviously, because I was more worried about the stuff that I overdid. And then you go and put like your something inside to make it attach. Just needs a few minutes. I got Skittles, I have Starburst, some Kisses, just something nice. And I'm trying to get the top part to hold together. You see how it folded nicely? Yeah, it just folds in really easier when you score it. All right, now we're going to do the mats. And the mat should be, I think, the initial was, I want to say, let me just check. I'm going to pull something up. It looks like it's just a little 1 3/4. 1 3/4 by, wow, 1 7/8 maybe. Now you'll see the measurement on there. It's really close to 2 inches. The measurements I gave you are for a different box. I happen to like the size box that I am giving you measurements for, and it's just a tiny, tiny bit smaller. So it's like 1 7/8. Oh, yeah. And that's the top, that's the first mat. And I'm using some DSP, it's called Designer Series paper, and it is a very masculine look. It's got transportation stuff on one side, like bicycles and airplanes, and a map in some of the paper. There we go. And I matched up, except for one side, matched up the paper. Then the other inside mat, I went in just a little bit more. You can do 1 1/2. I think I was doing the top parts. Yeah. So I measured, I had to use the cardstock and measure it up against it. I think I suggest that is the best way to do it, because just a matter of, excuse me, just a little teeny tiny difference in the way we cut things is just better to check. There we go. So I suggest, it's up to you. I put my sentiment up in this area, and I'm sorry I'm out of range. I have to get used to where the range is. I have to change my camera or something. I really apologize for that. All right, so there's the mats. Now we're going to top it, and I use the scraps and measure it. See the little bicycles on it? And I went to like 1 1/2, I think it was. And that fits pretty nicely. You can do double mats. So see, now wait for it. I decided to put a double mat. Yep. So I went just a little bit bigger. So I had it at 1 1/2. I went to 1 3/4 on the double mat, and that just fit nicer. But it was just too plain with just the craft stock yeah, craft paper, and I wanted to put the other one on top of it. So I like the way it came out with the double mat on it. All right. So I'm going to do the other side, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to say, if you like these videos, please give me a comment to let me know. If you have any suggestions of what you would like to see done or comments, I will answer you, no problems. Again, you can always just look up milk cartons and you will find a plethora of people who do them and the different ways they do them. They're really pretty interesting. They're different sizes. It's easier to get somebody to do the size that, go look and see the size you want. So I'm going to put my sentiment up here. If you are subscribed, I want to say thank you so very much for subscribing and being a member of this free community here. I appreciate the fact that you watch my videos. It is what I enjoy doing. It keeps me out of trouble and off the streets. Yes. There we go. So, just for the sake of argument, it's going on the other side as well. Okay? It's a little tough when you don't measure, and I was, not that I was being lazy, but trying to find my ruler at the time was, there it is. What can I tell you? Now you're going to think this is silly, but the sentiment that I put on here was much bigger than that, so I don't even know. All right, so there we are. That's that. Now I filled it and I put holes in it, tiny holes, as a matter of fact. I used a punch to create the holes, and I'm just taking some cording that I have sitting on my table. It is nothing special. It's just part of what I have in my stash. I call it a stash, but I just make a simple bow. And this cording seems, a little waxy, so it really holds tight. So I'm going to adjust the bows and clip the ends, and then we'll go to the sentiment. And I have to fuss with the bow, what can I tell you? And don't yell at me for using my paper scissors for... There we go. Okay, I'm happy with the way the box looks. I want to get a particular sentiment that I think works nice. Again, if you can get this through Stampin' Up. Today calls for something sweet, which I thought was perfect. It's not a best wishes. If I don't get, if I give something out and it's already past spring, I don't get, craziness from anybody. So I decided to cut it down and try to get it to fit. That's the sentiment I wanted. So I have to try to get it as small as I possibly can because it is pretty big and I don't have anything to cut it to fit. So taking my little fussy cut scissors, I am just going to go around and take off as much as I can without distorting it, still letting it give its thing to, there it is. See, it doesn't look as bad. And you could probably add some bling to it. I chose not to because I like to have it available and in and out of a pot. I didn't want anything to fall off. So there it is. Please like and share if you thought it's worth sharing. Leave me a comment to say hi, and I want to just wish you a sweet spring. And I hope to see you next time. Enjoy, everybody. Bye for now.